Now, in February this year, we had a international consultative roundtable where we brought together stakeholders, expert stakeholders in corporate law reform, financial intelligence, economics, and various other fields together, and it was a full house. We also brought together international consultants in the same areas, right? We had some from the US, some from UK, some from South Africa, and so forth, and they've worked on law reform globally. This is where we really started to now get a feel for what is it that the stakeholders want to see. Of course, we have proposals on the table. After that process was done, we also set up a local committee, a local law reform steering committee. So the local law reform steering committee is again leaders and captains of industries from the various sectors, from whether it's the chartered accountants, whether it's auditors, whether it's professional accountants. We also have the stock exchange, etc., etc. So it is really broad, and this law reform steering committee is to make sure that we have a local committee that would have ideas bounced against from our drafters, our international drafters, to make sure that the law is relevant to our country. It resonates, and it's not based on purely international principles, that it works for us. After this process, we then embarked on a countrywide stakeholder consultative engagements, which we just finished about 2 weeks ago, the Commerce one. So we've been in all the regions. I think we were in approximately, is it 16 or 18 towns across Namibia, and we consulted. So when we did the last one in Windhoek now, again, we had over 250 stakeholders present on that day. And that was our final engagement or consultations before we now look at a layman's draft. And that's not where the consultations end. So now we've done all these consultations. Our consultants will start drafting a layman's draft. And once the layman's draft is done, we are going to post it again and have again written input from our various stakeholders. We'll make that draft available. This is before we now submit it to the drafters and then, of course, to the minister for it to be tabled. Now, one thing that we must remember just quickly is once these laws are of course submitted to Parliament, and even Cabinet, they have the prerogative to say that, but you've not consulted enough, because we'll have to provide evidence to say that these were the regions, these were the number of people, these were the sectors. And if they feel that we've not consulted enough, of course, there's a process to go back. But I can give the assurance that it is our aim to make sure that it's a consultative law. It's not a BIPA law, it's not a government law, it's the law for the people. And we really still welcome input.